The QPR podcast is supported by Ubico, the provider of rental cars by the hour, who are giving away over £2,000 in credit to our listeners. For your chance to win up to £250 in free credit towards away game travel, short journeys across town, or car club use, enter now at west12media.co.uk/enter. To find out more, visit ubico.co.uk or download their app now.
QPR, Chris Rangers are on the up and up. QPR, now we're heading for European Cup.
Hello, this is Open All Ours. I'm Paul Finney. We're here today with Mr. Chris writing lots of things down. Are you making notes, Mr. Mendes?
Kind of, yeah. We've got Kevin Gallen on later. I was going to ask him a couple of quiz questions.
And that's my job, isn't it? As supposed to say that.
Just trying to take my mind off the game on Friday.
Don't talk yet. Just hold it. Anyway, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty good. You?
Did you bring your camera this week?
I didn't bring it this week. But you're welcome to use it.
No, it's not that. I just think that, I'm not judging the rest of us, but I'm sure he didn't bring it.
I brought it to Loftus Road on Friday, and I had it out for like the first 5 minutes, and then I just put it away for the rest of the game because it was that bad.
There's so many ways you can go with that. Rahul, thank you for coming at such short notice.
Yeah,
I do appreciate.
I'm a little bit out of breath, so if you can give me like 5 minutes, and then I'll start talking after then.
We'll pretend you are attack formation. We'll give you 20 minutes.
It's a bit like the QPR team on Friday.
No, I was going with that one again. Anyway, and we've got Emily.
Hello.
Thank you. You've done a song for us, and it was brilliant. And now you're finally on the podcast as a guest. Thank you so much for accepting.
Thank you for having me and not making me write another bloody QPR song. I'm done. I've got a whole album at home of QPR songs. So thanks for just having me as me and not me as singing me.
So the chances of getting bonus material have gone.
Those days are over. Let's move on.
Let's get some new heroes to sing about.
Yes.
Anyway, you can get in touch with us via Twitter at QPR Pod. You can go on Facebook. Apparently with Erlo, I don't really use Facebook anymore because it's weird. But anyway, you can go and find us now. You can email us, and anything I do wrong tonight, please don't hesitate but tell David Fraser. Right. We were all there Friday. I'm just going to have my say quickly, because as a host, you're supposed to be unbiased and you're supposed to get everyone's opinion first. I'm disgusted. Absolutely disgusted and distraught that we can give away a 52-year-old record so pathetically, so without defence, so without actually fighting for that. Because some things in football you fight for. Before a game, the people come in and say, these guys haven't won here for 52 years, whatever. Try and keep that going. Make sure that they don't leave here with 3 points. This is a major thing for us. I don't care what anyone says. Of course, it's a local derby. Whatever the joke about Brentford being in Middlesex, we all hold on that. It's fine. You don't let them come and have a training exercise on your pitch, walk away with the points, and let them load it up like a training exercise. One of their players went on Twitter and said that was a training exercise. I think it was Alan Judge said it was the best training exercise ever.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Something like that. I could be wrong, but don't care.
Stoking the fire.
And it was horrendous, and I'm embarrassed that we give that record away so poorly. Right, I've said it, and it was spineless. It was beyond spineless. It was just shocking. And our record in London derbies, bar beating Fulham in the way we did, is appalling. And there's got to be a reason for that, and that means that sometimes the players just aren't up for it. Anyway, follow that, Chris Mendes.
It's not just the fact that we lost the record; it's just the way we did it. Brentford were clearly much better than us. It's just embarrassing. All of us must know a Brentford fan. I remember I was walking away from the ground and there was like a Brentford supporter with his son going, I think Chap and Pops was still on when we beat QPR last time at Loftus Road. I
think Dixon
that was on not even that long ago. It looks like it was like 1964. It's a long time.
Jeez, I'm old. Carry on.
It's not just it started pretty badly, but it just didn't get better. The manager didn't change things up. It just didn't seem like he knew what to do to change the game at all. It just got progressively worse.
I have a theory in this. This false number 10 thing to do. We play everyone in false position. It's not going to catch on, guys. Please stop it. Rahul?
Yeah, I thought the tactics were wrong. From my perspective, if you're going to play two holding midfielders and neither of them really can pass the ball or pick a pass like Forlan, you have to have some way of actually moving the ball up the pitch. So if you're not going to play with midfielders who can pass, then play wingers who are real wingers. And when you're playing Cousins and Washington out of position, they just don't have the capacity to take the ball and drive it up the pitch, play across. We were playing long ball. Silla was totally isolated. So even if he did win the occasional long ball, there was no one to flick it onto. And basically it seemed on every single time we had the ball, we were looking for options. None of the midfielders showed. And basically every possession ended with Cocker just playing a little 9-iron chip over to the middle of nowhere and losing the possession immediately.
What chip?
9-iron?
A golf term.
Yeah, for those who don't play golf.
It's good though. We keep going away from Friday onto golf now. It's better.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop trying to get off the subject. Carry on. Back on track. Come on.
About golf.
Yeah, there didn't seem to be a vision for how we were going to attack the opposing team's goal, and it just, I don't know, it got frustrating after a while just seeing the ball get lumped up with no one around the striker, and I don't know, I just was very uninspired by the performance attacking wise.
Emily,
Yeah.
I've got to ask you, because we had a chat beforehand in the pub.
Yeah, we did.
When you first started watching QPR,
Yeah.
was the Lee Cook years, the
Yeah.
Kevin Gallen years.
Arnie.
Yeah, people go back to them years and say, oh, we weren't so good then. But there was something different about the QPR team that played Brentford and Mendes. Both teams are different, I suppose. But what would you make of it these days?
We were a team then. We were a nice little team. I don't think we're a team now. I don't agree with this whole Jimmy thing about playing the whole team around Cherry. I don't think that's working.
No.
And I just don't think that we communicate. There's no one coming on that's like a leader, that's like encouraging. Like when we let a goal in, it's just like, oh, yeah, bloody hell, we've let a goal. We need like someone coming on and being like, right, this is like attack, like a little bit of attack, something like that. We don't have that. Also, we had some cracking songs in those days. We are seriously limited with songs now. Obviously, Sebastian Polter's got his one. We're safe with Sebastian Polter, only one decent German. Not particularly politically correct, but it's all right. It won't be too long until we get some kind of Cilla Black medley for Cilla. Anyone who had a heart, Alfie. Maybe the blind date theme for Cilla.
All right.
Yeah,
okay.
somebody needs to start working on that one. Poor old Connor Washington. What's he got?
You're a songwriter. I think you have.
I'm not
take care of
putting
this.
myself forward, but he hasn't got anything. Cherry's got a classic. Can't go wrong with a bit of Frankie Valli. Maybe that's why Jimmy decided to base the whole team around him, because he's got a good song.
So I was talking to a QPR fan after the Bristol City game, I think it was, and he was saying he wants to start a chant for Neda Manua, which is like a copy of Exeter Chiefs chant, which kind of just goes, oh, Chief! That's it. I'm not sure
How
we
does
catch on
Neda
though.
It's a bit-
know that's for him, though?
That's his
That's
nickname.
true.
Yeah, he's got, the Neda Manua to sa. I like that one. I didn't give it much justice.
I like him better when he doesn't give the ball to the forward.
No, he had a good shot on. He was like the only one.
I think-
a good miss.
I think the thing is, without digging people out, and I'm not going to do that, but I think he's starting to suffer for the fact that the captaincy seems maybe a bit too much for him.
Yeah, he's under pressure.
I think that it's affected big time. But I'm thinking, last year we played Brentford at home. Fulham was going around the pitch. I think we might have had him on the podcast a couple of weeks beforehand, because I remember, anyway. But he was going around the pitch and he was geeing everyone up, and you had Clint Hill involved in the squad. You had people who were giving him like, come on, we don't want to lose to this lot. Come on, behave yourselves. And they scored Saturday, and we just went straight back to the centre circle and just kicked off like, here we go again.
Yeah.
And that really doesn't sit well with me. I mean, the first goal was a disgrace. It shouldn't happen in a Sunday League match, never mind a perfection. And they did the same sort of thing 5 minutes earlier as well. They kind of waltzed through. Once they realised that your man wasn't going to... How many chances did we give your man up front? I mean, they're number 9 or whatever. I mean, time after time after time, he was a wasting chance. And I thought, this is going to be like Fulham. We're going to rob this. But unfortunately, they didn't read the script, and that was a terrible goal to give away. And the second goal, it was a good goal. But you know what? That shouldn't happen in a professional match. He should have been closed down. The bullshit. And I just feel that we're going into games expecting to lose. Now, whose fault is that? Who? Because the fans, when Gladwin came on, were really, I thought, hostile towards him, which is unfair. He hasn't played enough games to be judged the way he's being judged, and people need to stop the booing. Full stop. It's ridiculous. You can be fed up and you can be unhappy with things, but please don't boo.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I think the ridiculous amount of money that came into the club when Tony Fernandez took over.
It ruined us.
It did, because it just completely changed the way fans looked at the club. The amount of money that first summer he was spending, you just kind of expected him to, in the first time we've got into Premier League, and it expected us to stay there for ages. Expectations shifted. Now people still look at the club as just being one of the richest in the Championship, which technically they are, but they're not really spending that money anymore. So it's like when Gladwin came on, like Guy in front of me was like, oh God, just taking off one bad player for another bad player. And you can kind of understand why the fans are frustrated, because the football we've been playing this season has not been entertaining at all.
Leeds was good.
There's no chemistry between the players like there was in 2003-04.
Yeah, but also, I mean, if you're playing players in positions where they're not going to succeed, you're not going to have chemistry. So, for instance, Cousins,
And
he's
Washington.
a central midfielder. He played at right wing and right back. Washington's a striker or a second striker. He played as a left winger. Just so many players are out of position. So, and in Cherry, who knows? I mean, he's playing a number 10, but he's basically playing as a central midfielder where he's getting his touches. So, I don't know. I just think that if you want players to succeed, they actually have to be playing in the positions that they're supposed to be playing in. So, that I don't understand why we continue to put square pegs in round holes, or whatever the cliche
Yeah, that's
is.
it. Yeah.
But Emily mentioned Silla, and I think that Silla.
He didn't have a very good game.
But the thing about him is, I think he's a kind of guy that feeds off crosses. He's one of them. He'll cause enough mayhem when the cross comes in, and if you've no wingers to supply him, you do wonder what's the point of playing him.
Yeah.
Similar to Poulter in some ways, because Poulter gets a ball, he wins it well, he's strong, he's a nuisance, but he needs a finisher with him. And I've said this all season, we haven't got a finisher. I'm not sure if Washington's going to make it at QPR or not as a finisher. We'll have to wait and see. But it just felt to me that he doesn't, at this stage of the season, this is what terrifies me. He does not know his best 11. Injury-wise or not, he does not know his best team, and that scares me. And we've only got a small matter of Forest on Saturday, we've never won that.
I knew it kind of like just the most deflating moment for me in the game was just when the Perch was just doing kick-ups on the byline.
I didn't get that.
He's kind of almost just set up Brentford's second goal. It's like, oh.
What was he thinking?
Yeah.
What goes through? I mean, they're professional
and
footballers.
Hasselbank after the game said that he thought he was fouled there, but I looked at it again. I don't think he was.
Yeah, I think there was a handball. I mean,
there was something to do with that. He put his arm up.
And someone else got pushed in the back because I was sitting right around there. But I know Perch was criticized a lot by fans last year. I think he's actually become a slightly better player this year. But yeah, that was a bit. Maybe he was just trying to entertain us.
He's a
Put
better
some
left
circus
back.
type.
To me, he seems a bit. I mean, to put Robinson in was brave. And it was a bit unfair, I felt, in the lad, because he hasn't played for so long and he's missed so much. To put him in a local derby and under the lights, reasonably packed row, and I just didn't think it was the right game. When the young Finnish lad was doing well, he doesn't let people settle. This is my grief as well. To me, to be successful at this level, even if we are going to finish mid-table, which people don't mind. That's the other thing I want to talk to you quickly about before we go to Kevin Gallen. Some people are saying it's our expectations that are too high. But I didn't have any expectations. I just want to go down there and see a team that wants to try and win a football match. And I think at this stage of the season, having won 2 home games isn't that great.
No, it's not.
No.
It's not.
Yeah, we're bottom West London out of all of them. And it's difficult to see that changing throughout the season, the way we're playing at the moment. Fulham absolutely hammered Huddersfield at the weekend. Brentford obviously looked much better than us. And they seem to be producing more players as well, young players. The guy who scored their first goal, Clark, I think he looked really good at the weekend. He's one of their youth products. So it was quite concerning.
I just wish, I think the issue is we have to make up our mind. Jimmy has to make up, well, not we have no input in this, but Jimmy Hasselbank has to make up his mind as to how they're going to play. If they're going to play long balls, then put Cherry around Poulter or Silla, let him try to get the flick-ons. If he wants to play crosses, then play wingers and play crosses to a striker. But basically what I see happening now is we pass around the back just aimlessly. Finally, midfielders show, no one's getting the ball, so then it just ends up being a long ball from Smithies or just a little pass to the middle of nowhere. And there needs to be an actual plan that they need to commit to. They can't just be deciding how to attack on an ad hoc basis. There really needs to be some kind of tactical approach to attacking the other team's end.
I feel sorry for Cherry because he hasn't been playing very well for the last few weeks, but there's just so much pressure on him because the team's built around him. Everyone's looking at him for inspiration, and it might be a good idea just to take him out for a game or two, just to take the pressure off him and
that'd be a
try something different.
Emily, what was your expectation? Just this expectation thing. Me personally, I would have been happy with mid-table. But you guys, I mean, what was your expectations? Do you think the fans are over ambitious in what we think the club can do?
I think we're bored. Don't
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
He needs to pick a starting team and stick with it. Jimmy's not doing that, and that's really frustrating. And it's just, as I said, I don't think this thing with Cherry is working. And I think we're bored. I think we got really, really lucky at Fulham, and it's just a bit pants, really. I worry. I don't want to say it, if we go down, but I worry if we go down. We don't have that kind of captain person that comes on and is encouraging enough to like pick us back up and like clap people and like be like, come on, yeah, we'll get this next goal. We don't have that anymore. I don't want to say Joey Barton was very good at it, but Joey Barton was very good at it. He was, come on. And so like we don't have that person anymore. Clint Hill was very good at it as well.
Yeah, Barton was really good at the training ground fights as well.
He was very good at those.
Betting, poking his teammates with cigarettes. He was really good at all those things too.
Listen,
Allegedly.
Getting red cards. He was really good at getting red cards as well.
And get managers a sack.
But is that such a bad thing right now?
Well, I don't know. See, this is definitely the last one before we go to I need to say Barton, as if before we go to Kevin Gallen. Not to talk about Warnock. When he came back last season, should have been given a go. He went to Rotherham, and he's probably won more games at Rotherham and Cardiff than Jimmy's won at QPR.
Yeah.
Was that a chance missed? Should we have maybe got Warnock in for 6 months and then properly got the dream manager, or doesn't it really matter?
Yeah, of course it does. Have you seen the Sam Allardyce and Wolves are like indoors today? Yeah.
That could be interesting.
I think Big Sam would have been cool.
Jeez, you talk about.
I'm already talking about getting rid of Jimmy, and I know. Listen, I know you've got to give people time, and you've got to give people their chance. But what are you doing? He looks great in a suit on the touchline.
Yep.
He does.
And also, the puck of pie sales would go up a lot at the stadium if we hired him.
Big Sam, I don't think that's realistic. I don't think the QPR coffers have been well raided, and I think Harry's sent that train off the cliff for the financial money.
I don't think Warnock's the answer. The problem with Warnock is...
but would it have been a short-term measure to get the right person?
He can't go back. He wouldn't have been what he was.
So Jimmy was the right choice at that time, I think.
Finney, think about it. Because say we have Cardiff and Warnock had taken over QPR. Look at all the players he's signed for them. How much money are they on?
Oh no, I'm not. Yeah,
and
granted.
then we'll be back, like doing a U-turn. This is the same kind of policy.
But there's a real myth out here that we haven't spent money, and people say it a lot. We've spent quite a lot of money over the last 2 seasons, I think, for a Championship club. Or we're not spending the insanity that we did in the Premier League, but in relative terms, we're still quite a busy club with financial money, and we should, I think, have a better than 2 wins at home.
We need somebody who works the academies, who brings people up and does things with the academies and the youth team. It's all very well to bring all these players in, but we're bringing in all these players and not playing them in the right position. So, if I just think we should...
Well, let's go and talk to Kevin Gallen. All right, Kev, thanks for being our guest tonight and coming on the podcast. You're a good friend of the podcast, and talk to me as a QPR fan. Forget the captain, player, youth team player, all them things. As a QPR fan, where do you think we're going?
That's a difficult question to start off with. Where are we going? Well, on the performance on Friday, obviously wasn't very good. So not far. I can keep playing like that, but that every team suffers defeats, and especially in the Championship, there's a lot more defeat. There's a lot of defeats, and you win, and then you can win 2 or 3, and you're up near the playoffs, and you could lose 2 or 3, and you're like looking over your shoulder for the relegation battles. I think what concerns most QPR fans is the manner of the defeats and sort of the way we played on Friday. Also, to lose to a local rival in Brentford, who a few years ago weren't really a rival 20 years ago, but have come up quite well and are doing well in now a derby game, and yeah, it's a disappointing result. And I think also it's a disappointing performance because we didn't really play well and they thoroughly deserved to win the game.
And that's a sad bit about it, Rahul.
Hey, Kevin, it's Rahul. I've heard you a few times on the Magic Sponge. Are you always available to just be on podcasts, or you're always waiting for the call?
Am I always waiting for the call to
Yep.
be on this podcast?
No, he's talking about the Magic Sponge. He's talking about the Magic Sponge, not just this
the
one.
Magic Sponge, that's right. Yeah, Magic Sponge. I will just sort of hang around Hammersmith for a few days when they're filming to see if I can get an invite. And usually on a Monday night, I'm glued to my phone, ready for the call from whoever from QPR podcast to get an invite or to talk.
Yeah,
I can't think of anything else to do with my life.
But tell us, what do you think is what formation would you play if you were the manager, and what would be your 11? What do you think is the best 11 on this team?
I mean, I don't really know the best 11 off my top of my head. Well, I could, but I need to be more prepared for this. Formation-wise, I think at home there is that option of playing a 4-4-2 because I think the pitch is so tight that it's very difficult to get that man in the hole on the ball because the pitch is so the gaps between the midfield and the strikers is very narrow. Last year when I was working at MK Dons, they played QPR and I went to watch and I was working for MK Dons at the time, and I spoke to the manager of MK Dons after the game and I said, you don't need to play that one in the hole against QPR because there's no space for that number 10 to get on the ball because the pitch is so tight. And QPR played a very direct style of play that day and battered MK Dons. I believe that you can play a 4-4-2 at home, but away from home it could be a 4-3-3. I think the problem is we haven't got the personnel to play 4-4-2. We have maybe the strikers, but I don't think we've got the out-and-out wingers to deliver balls into the box. I also don't think we've got enough legs in midfield to play that style at the moment. I'm slightly concerned because I like the look of Silla up front because one thing I've noticed when I've seen him play, and I've only seen him play, he's very good at attacking crosses, and he nearly scored a goal on Friday from a cross. I think probably the only cross into the box from QPR, and it was cleared off the line. He scored a header from a cross against Huddersfield, also against Fulham from a cross, and also against Bristol City. So he needs to be regularly serviced from the wings. At the moment, we're playing a right footer on the left, who really is a centre forward who wants to cut in and either shoot or cuts in on his right foot, and he can't really use his left foot and go down the wing and cross it with his left. So I think it's a difficult question. My 1 to 11, I think the keeper is doing very well and is probably player of the season at the moment. And for me, he's the only one at the moment who is guaranteed a place, because I can't really, hand on heart, say anyone really deserves to be playing regularly at this time, at this moment. So it's a difficult question because I know a lot of fans are asking they should be playing two up front, and I agree sometimes, two up front at home should be a possibility because people want to see two strikers on the pitch. They also want to see chances, and they want to see goals and efforts on goals, and that's what gets bums off seats, and that's what the crowd want to come and get entertained. So there is a case for 4-4-2, but I'm not too sure if we've actually got the personnel for that.
So given that you said that it's hard for number 10 to play in that role, given the size of Loftus Road, would you drop Cherry, or would you play him on the wing or as a second striker? What do you think we should do with Cherry?
I don't know. I mean, he could play on the left, because one thing he has got is he's got a great delivery with his left foot. He's very good with his left foot. He can put a ball in. It's just I don't think the manager trusts him defensively playing in that role. I mean, to be fair to Connor Washington, I came to the Reading game and he came on, and I thought he was excellent. but the only thing he was excellent at doing was defending, and he's a centre forward. So there's a lot of emphasis on those two wide players to do a lot of defending, and I don't think the manager would trust Cherry. So again, it's a very difficult. At the start of the season, he was playing very well, but he's tailed off a little bit in the last few weeks, maybe month or 6 weeks. So yeah, it it happened with him again last season. He started off very well, then went off the ball, and then came good around March to the end of the season. So hopefully he can regain his form as quickly as possible.
Kevin, I'm trying to take my mind off Friday's game because it was so bad. So I've just come up with 5 little quiz questions for you.
Okay.
You love a quiz, don't you, Kev?
Question 1.
I love a quiz.
Question 1. How old were you the last time before Friday Brentford won at QPR?
I was 0, I think. I was in the minuses.
Yeah, trick question.
I was minus. Yeah.
Number 2. How many league goals did you score for QPR?
How many what?
League goals did you score for QPR?
I haven't got a clue.
90.
Okay.
According to the internet.
I
You
didn't
read up your Wikipedia page, Kevin. Come on.
I know, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Make it 900. Pick yourself up.
Number 3. How many times did you play for England's under-18s?
Do you know what? Does that include friendlies? I don't know. 15 maybe? I don't know.
I've got 11 here.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't really keep much track on my football career, to be honest.
Question 4. This is an easy one.
Name 2 teams you played for.
You'll definitely know this one. Who did you score a hat-trick against in 2010?
Hayden Eddin.
No, Grays.
Oh God, yeah.
Last
right.
one. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. This one you probably won't know. I don't think any of us will know it. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank has now been in charge of QPR for 46 games, which is the same amount that's in a championship season. What do you think his win ratio is?
No pressure, Kev. Carry on.
Oh God, win ratio 18%.
Oh, it's a bit better than that. It's 28.3%.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, what do I get? 0 out of 5. Brilliant.
No, you got the first one right. You knew that you weren't alive when the last time Brentford won. Friday.
I tell you what.
That's good. That's good.
I tell you what, Kev. It's good that This Is Your Life isn't around anymore. Neiman Andrews has in the red book, because you would be absolutely gutted and surprised at the same time at all these things about yourself.
Well, I don't really take much notice of the past, Paul, to be honest.
As QPR fans, it's sometimes all we've got to cling on to, fella. Come on.
Yeah, well, I know. Yeah, that's right. You should ask me something like who scored this goal.
All right,
I probably know.
Who was your first proper QPR hero?
Well, do you know what? I'd probably say Terry Fenwick, really.
All right, okay.
You know, he scored the equaliser in the FA Cup final. That's an early memory for me. And then, but for those few years, promotion and then playing in the first division, he was captain. He played centre back. He played midfield and scored a lot of free kicks and penalties. He was an excellent football player for QPR, as was another one, Gary Bannister, Simon Stainrod, players like that. Really good team in the 80s. Terry Venables, great manager. Would you ever see will it ever be done again? A QPR manager, next stop goes to Barcelona? I don't think so. Not in our lifetime, but what an amazing achievement.
And some QPR fans questioned why he left. I remember that very well. And
well,
I was probably one of them, actually.
I don't think that. Yeah, why did he leave? What an idiot. To go to Barcelona.
I know. What was he thinking? The other thing is, and this is just a very quick question, and being a QPR, I mean, it's different for us, lot, because we're not ever. I mean, I was a terrible right back, but what was it like actually wearing the shirt for real for the first time?
For the first time, it was, well, I joined QPR when I was 14, and I made my debut at Man United. I was probably, it was 4 years in the making of really trying and working really hard every day in training, trying to impress the manager, the manager of the youth team, to be the best player in the youth team, to get into the reserves, which I didn't really play much in the reserves, but really was trying to impress Jerry Francis, who was the manager. I was scoring a lot of goals in the youth team, and then my youth team days was finished. This was in 1994, so we finished in May 1994. I came back to training, and all of a sudden I'm now sort of training with the first team, where I'm not with the youth team anymore. You're training with the first team and the reserves, and then I get on the tour. We go on tour to Sweden. I start playing. I'm playing all right. I'm playing quite well. And then we come back to for pre-season matches. We play Brentford. We go to Bristol Rovers. I play well. I think I scored 2 against Bristol Rovers in a pre-season game, and that's sort of thinking, now I've got a good chance of first game of the season at Man United. So all that work was to get to that sort of stage and to play in the first team and make my debut at Man United, and then to run out and, you know, with the calibre of players who I looked up to from watching 6 months ago in the stands, but being in the youth team, but still watching, going to the games, being a QPR fan. And, you know, I've said this loads of times: Alan MacDonald, Clive Wilson, Danny Maddox, David Bardsley, Ian Holloway, Les, playing up front with Les, and I was vying for a place to get up, because Les was obviously the number one centre forward, but there was also Devon White, Gary Penrice and Bradley Allen. I mean, Devon White wasn't really in competition with me. It was either Les or Jerry. Always played a big man with a small man, so my competition was Gary Penrice and Bradley Allen, and I had to get in front of them. So I did, and it was an amazing experience, which absolutely can't remember hardly a thing about, to be honest.
No.
Because it just whizzed by. Yeah, I mean, you play at Man United. I do remember bits and pieces, but can I remember the changing room? Not really. I can remember bits and pieces of the game, but I can't really remember much about it. And that's sort of the thing about when you're playing football. It's difficult. These things just go by so quickly. But this is 22 years ago, so my memory's not great. I didn't even know 6 years ago who I scored a hat-trick against. How am I going to know 22 years ago what I was doing? But
there's been a lot.
I remember coming home and feeling on top of the world, and my mates ringing me up, and we go down to Hammersmith. We went to Hammersmith Palais that night.
There's been a lot of Guinness under the bridge since then, Kevin, I think.
Oh, a few pints here and there, just a few.
Kevin, you played most of your games for QPR, but you did play for a few other teams. Did you feel differently walking onto the pitch to play for QPR than you did when you were playing for all the other clubs? Did you have like more butterflies in your stomach, or was it just a different feeling?
Well, I have to say, I left QPR twice. The first time I left, it was a case of I left. Well, I didn't fall out with Jerry, but I just wasn't playing in the team, and I thought to myself, if I don't get playing soon, I'm just going to be on the scrap heap, because I just wasn't playing. And when you're not playing, you lose your focus. So I thought, I have to go and play somewhere. And if I hadn't left then, I would never have came back. But I went to Huddersfield and I tried. I just needed games, and I was determined to play well. The second time I left QPR was a very difficult time for me personally, because I didn't want to leave. I was really settled. I thought I had something to offer the club, and it took me a good while. And I had a decent season at MK Dons. We won the League Two, we won the JPT, but it wasn't the same as QPR. If someone had said to me after 2 months at MK, will you come back to QPR, I would have ran. But, you know, it wasn't to be. It was a very difficult time, because I still wanted to be at QPR. So as time goes on, I went to Luton, and I really enjoyed my time at MK. There's no doubt it was very successful team-wise. And then we went to Luton, and I really enjoyed it. Luton reminded me of a little bit of QPR, where it was a family club, but in a smaller version. Good atmosphere at the ground, good lads up against it. It was a terrible time for them. I joined when we had 30 points deducted, so it was a tough time. But there was a really good camaraderie there. Mick Harford was the manager. He was great manager, great for me. I really enjoyed playing under him. But obviously, it's nothing. I mean, I would have ran back to QPR if anyone would give me any inkling of taking me back. But
to be fair, we used to run back.
I was waiting on that phone for 3-4 years, and it never came. So, you know, one of my regrets is I never said goodbye to the QPR fans. That was the last time I left.
You will get a chance, but one thing I've just got to ask you quickly. You've worked a lot with youth in your time, and a lot of stuff in football these days you read, results don't matter. But do results matter at youth levels and under 23 levels? I mean, in the clubs?
Well, it's a difficult question because results shouldn't matter to the fans really, but the results should really matter to the players when they go on the pitch, when they're playing. Now, if you're getting beaten every week as a football player and as part of a team, and you're losing every week against another team, then I always sort of think, well, that team's obviously got better players than us. If you keep losing, now the players who are playing should be thinking, well, I don't want to lose. I go on the white pitch. If I'm a centre half and I'm playing against a centre forward, my objective as being that player is that he's not going to score, and I'm going to win that personal battle with him. As a centre forward against a centre half, I'd be thinking I'm going to score and I'm going to win that personal battle. Now, if you keep losing 5-6s, I don't think that's great, because obviously confidence will be down, and how can you play your best football if you keep losing all the time? So it's not the be and an end all for me. If you are like looking on the outside as a manager or as a coach, but it is, if you're a football player, you should be thinking, well, I want to win today. That is, when you cross that white line, you want to win. And another thing, and also I think winning is a great habit to get into. I really do. When I played in the youth team at QPR, we had a decent youth team, and we won the league, and we won the Junior Southern Floodlit Cup, and you know, there was 3 or 4 of us who actually played in QPR's first team. I was lucky enough to play a long time, but you know, there was Trevor Chalice, Chris Plummer played for QPR, Matthew Brazier. So that's 4 out of that youth team, which was and that was at a stage when QPR were in the Championship and the Premier League, and they made appearances in that. So for me as a coach, I always want to win, and I think good habits come from winning, and you always play your best football when you're in a confident and frame of mind. So it's a difficult question, but you know, obviously everyone prefers to win, don't they?
Kevin, you mentioned Mick Harford.
Yeah.
Was he the hardest man in football that you've worked with?
Well, I did speak to Mick. When I first went to Luton, and I was obviously aware of his reputation, and he was. He actually told me, he said, "I'm not like I was years ago," and I thought, thank God for that, because we could be falling. I could be getting into trouble, but he obviously his reputation was very big, very fierce, and there's a lot of stories from the players before who knew him years ago, some of the stuff, but he actually said he wasn't that person anymore, and he was actually very calm, and I was very surprised it wasn't the Mick Harford, and I still speak to Mick to this day. He's a friend of mine, and he's actually a very nice bloke.
All right.
Hey, Kev, just one question. It's a little bit ironic coming from an American immigrant to the UK, but do you think that there's any value to having a British spine for a championship team? I know that QPR has recruited a lot of players from different countries without that much England experience. What are your thoughts on the composition of the team in terms of nationality and background?
Sorry, I didn't get that. Is it better to have a more English-based team, did you say?
Yeah, I think. What do you think about the composition of the team in terms of so many players from Poland and different countries who don't have that much experience playing in the championship?
Well, that's a good question, and I've spoke to this with people. Sometimes when you buy players from abroad, it could take them a season to settle. And with football, it's a business, and it's a results business now. The fans, there's no patience in football. The fans want results instantly. And I understand that, because they pay a lot of money and they want to be entertained. And then the manager might say, the people who buy the player say, well, he needs time to settle in. Well, yeah, okay, but do you have time in football? And championship football's tough. It comes thick and fast. They have these... these international breaks, and then for 3 or 4 weeks, there's like 5, 6, 7, 8 games all crammed in, and then you have 2 weeks off. So it's a difficult one. Me personally, I would always go not for British, but I'm not saying British, but even like European players who have played in this country for a few and already settled. It's always a little bit difficult, with adjusting to a new culture, a new league, a new football, new language when it's a here and now sport. So there's always a good shout from scouts is about when you bring a loan in and it's his first loan. They always say like a player's first is never brilliant. It's always his second and third, and that's true as well. So me personally, I would rather go for players that are been in the league for the last 2 or 3 years. That's my opinion.
Do you think that's why the British players are more expensive, or not necessarily the British players, but like you said, players who've more experience in the Championship tend to be more expensive, and we've seen them go for ridiculous fees?
Yeah, that's true. The premium on British players is a lot more, and the premium on centre forwards is sky high because every club is after centre forward. I go scouting every twice a week, and when you speak to scouts, the first thing you say, because it's centre. So you watch centre forward. Everyone's watching centre forwards. I wish I was playing now. I wish I was 15 years ago. I'd be a lot wealthier. I know that much, but it is. Everyone's after centre forward, so
yeah,
it's difficult. But I have to say, there is some good players in League One. Brentford have shown that they've done well with their scouting. I mean, Ryan Woods is a very good player.
Was he the lad from Shrewsbury?
Yeah, very good player. Hogan's done really well. On my travels, watched him a few times. He's really impressed me. So there is good players out there in League One. You've just got to get the right environment for them when they come, and maybe take that little gamble.
Funny Cesar had been playing for Wrexham.
Hello, Kevin Gallen.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. Are you all right?
I'm all right.
Good. I just wanted to say that thank you so much for being really, really good at QPR. And if you ever want to come back and sit in the JU block with me and my friends, then you can. And that we really liked you at QPR.
Oh, thank you very much.
Fangirled. I've so fangirled. And also, did I see you at a Blossoms gig not long ago?
I was there, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I thought it was you. I fangirled there as well. A bit embarrassing.
You didn't say hello to me then, no?
No, I didn't. I didn't. I just moshed.
Oh, okay, yeah, I was there. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, they're not as good as the Smiths, though, are they?
Well, I don't think many bands are better than the Smiths, are they? Come on.
No, is it? Exactly.
God, there are no fangirls in my profession.
Might see you in the White
Right here.
Might see you at the White Lies.
Oh, you going to see the White Lies?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, they're good. I've seen them.
And he's been on the podcast.
Is he a QPR fan?
One of them's
Yeah,
a QPR.
he's a QPR fan, the drummer, yeah. So I'm going to go, that's at Shepherd's Bush.
Are you blagging it again?
I would.
Am I what?
Are you blagging it again?
Paul, I always blag it.
Now listen, Kev, we're going to have to wrap it up now, but thanks for coming on, and no doubt we'll see you in the podcast studios soon. But you said you didn't get a chance to say goodbye to QPR fans, but you can now.
Goodbye.
Good evening. Good man. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Cheers, big man. Cheers, bye.
Bye.
There you go. Well, that was interesting. So Kevin Gallen from that interview has now got a seat he can sit where again?
JU. Oh, yeah, it comes in the JU block with me.
All right, okay. Well,
it's fantastic there. We're right near the toilets if you need a wee at half time.
Excellent. Can I do that, can you?
The annoying thing about Friday as well, normally I'm sitting in...
Well, back to depression.
No, I'm sitting at Ellerslie Road, but my brother got a couple of tickets for Friday, so I was sitting in South Africa Road, so not only was it an awful game, but I had a better view of it. I would have preferred to sit in a restricted view seat for that game.
I'd have preferred to sit in top of White City.
I would have liked to have stayed at home and eaten chocolate fingers and watched it at home when I was warm and switched over and watched Danny Dyer and EastEnders. There's
nothing in the world that's as bad as watching that, surely. But anyway, the trouble is, I fear that people will stay at home. This football is going to empty the stadium, whether we like it or not. And hopefully, Jimmy can change that. He's got a great chance, and this is where we go into our predictions of going to a ground we've never won at.
Let's just start playing like Robbie Williams, Let Me Entertain You, as the players come out on the pitch instead. Just a bit of a hint.
I don't know. It's like, yeah, or just say like, "There's a goal. Try and shoot at it." I don't know. I mean, the only shot we had was at 29 minutes on Friday, the first one, and that was kind of a shot come cross kind of thing.
Silla header was the best thing that happened in the
No,
whole game.
None of them had a good one, I thought. I made that up. I think.
No, you're probably right. To be fair, by the way, thank you to James Collins or Barry Collins, sorry, for prompting me in 10 minutes, which is good with the Istanbul thing, because I was so focused on our back line trying to think of what they were doing, I nearly forgot, and as a shameful act. So thank you, Barry, for reminding me.
That was the best thing about the match.
Wasn't it amazing? Well done to every QPR fan.
Yeah.
I was desperate for a wee, and I couldn't hold it in any longer, so I went for a wee around the 38th, 39th minute, and then I was just in the toilet doing what you do, and I heard the cheers, and I couldn't work it out. I was like, the atmosphere's been pretty bad at QPR, so it could be a QPR goal because it wasn't very loud. So yeah, I did miss the goal.
Which reminds me, by the way, guys, if you are, thank you. We're talking about Istanbul's. We're very close to getting the game, I hope, organised for Stan. And I'm desperate for every QPR fan to go, because you'll need to go to support this to make it work.
When's it looking like it will be?
I can't say, because I don't know. Okay. And I'd be lying if I did. But I would please urge QPR fans to show the club that you are interested in this. You will go to this game. If we get this game on, you will attend. Please back Stan and his family. This is not a rich guy who played the game at top level when there's money around. This is a normal bloke, one of our all-time heroes who needs our help. So I'm begging you, please, if we get this game sorted out, please turn up, support Stan, and donate to Stan as much as you can, because he needs it. And let's face it, he's probably, if you see a QPR shirt from the 70s, you say Stan Bulls, and I say help Stan Bulls now. Right, we're going to go to the Forest predictions. We've tried to avoid it for long enough, but we really have to do it. I'm going to start with you, Emily. What do you think?
Well...
Is that your showguard impersonation?
They had Reading in the weekend, didn't they? Forest. I think they lost to Reading. If that's right,
they're
then
not doing very well.
Yeah, they're not.
They're like fourth from bottom.
So this is
they're not doing very well. Oh God, I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to say we're going to score we're going to win 2-0, and I think I'm going to go with heart for it. I'm going to think that Cherry is going to score, and I think Silla is going to score, and then we're all going to act out Blind Date, especially the theme tune.
It'd be good. We should play that instead of
That's what we need when he comes on.
And when he scores, only when he scores.
That's a brilliant idea.
That's what makes some noise campaign should have done.
Don't even talk to me about that.
But that
Don't even talk to me
taken
about that.
off
Makes some noise.
with some Silla
Here's the
Black.
leaflet. Did you see what Hull did the other week? They printed on their advertising things. There was the songs. We're that close from doing that. Please don't go down that horrible road. Score goals. Get atmosphere. I like the Silla Black
Silla
thing.
Black, yeah,
I like
definitely.
that. When he scored.
I'm really worried about Connor Washington. He needs a song. Can you not? Is there not an Irish song we
heard
can
one.
sing to relax him?
There is. We used to have a song in the 82 World Cup. We qualified for 82. When your man gets a ball, Connor Washington scores a goal. I don't know, something like that.
I've got that on vinyl.
Can we?
Your
not
man.
have that?
I've got that song on vinyl. Yeah.
Right. I will pass that on to Ian Taylor and Paul Morrissey, and so when Connor Washington scores, they've got to play Your Man.
I don't think they play it on vinyl though.
It doesn't. They will. We'll get this done. When Connor Washington scores, when Your Man gets the ball, right? That's it. Sorted. Prediction.
I think we'll win 3-1, and I think we'll get a perfect hat trick
Nurse.
of own goals from Armand Traore. So I think we'll win 3-1.
Is he still playing for them?
Yeah, he plays for Forest.
I know he does, but I don't think he's played.
That's a shame.
He's gone
Then I
missing.
might have to change my prediction. I think
Yeah, I think he's gone AWOL. Surprise, shock horror.
injury.
That's still a blackjack there. You said surprise.
Oh, right. Yes, of course, she did that as well.
Yeah, see? There's loads of stuff we could do for Silla.
I'm a QPR fan. Get me out of here.
When was the last time we beat Fulham away?
What?
Not Fulham. What was it? Nottingham Forest.
October.
We haven't. All right, Chris. You might have not picked up on the theme of this. We have never won at Nottingham Forest in our history, ever, even came close. I think they might have equalised late against us once. But anyway, I was there when Nigel Clough scored that horrible hard track on Sunday. I should be going to a gig that night. Anyway, carry on.
I think they're rubbish this season, Nottingham Forest.
That means nothing.
And we're a little bit less rubbish, so I think we're going to beat them.
Do you know, I did I'll share myself now. I was asked on to Brentford podcast last week. I'm not going to go on about it, but I was. And they were doing all this kind of thing. Oh, your man hasn't scored for ages, and this and that. And I was just sitting there in my head going, I know what that means as a QPR fan. I hate the fact that Forest is so crap. I would prefer it if we were playing Forest and they were top of the league. I really would, because I know that's the time the QPR will just do everything not supposed to do and go there and win and upset the apple cart, and things like that. I'm desperate to see us win on Saturday. I really, there's things I treasure in my life, my daughter's birth, but that'll be secondly followed by beating Forest and actually being there to see it after all the crap I've watched up there.
My R's end, I just wanted to ask you how it went last week, Nando's, at your daughter's birthday.
I ran away. Carry on. I avoided it like the plague. The thought of 20-odd 15-year-olds was just too much in the end. So I said, you've got an Oyster card, you know how to use it. But she seriously has got to get a job, Lily. Seriously, come on. You need a job. And she's actually, the weird thing is, the more that we do badly, the more she's saying, I really want to, let's do some more away matches, Dad. I want to get, this is like the old QPR, isn't it? It's like...
she's sensible. She can see that we're very good away from home and not very good at home.
Who knows? My prediction is, well, didn't Jimmy say that after the game? Bless him. That we're better away from home when he doesn't know where that is.
I love how.
Bless him. I think that was a dig, by the way, but I'm not sure.
But I love the way he's like, he wasn't expecting this after the Bristol City game. Completely like forgetting that there'd been a game after that we lost away to Sheffield Wednesday. But anyway,
really?
Yeah.
Oh Jesus, it gets bad, doesn't it? Right. I'm going to say we're going to Forest and we're going to absolutely trash on the Nigel Clough memory, and I did this when he was stretched off and all the hidings we've had and the Paul Hart game and everything else, and we're going to go up there like knights and
steal from the
just win.
Yeah.
Actually, do you know what? I will take.
I don't think Knights played football.
Robin Hood was up there.
I don't care. Yeah,
was he?
Yeah, he was.
You see where it's going. Go up there and just reclaim respectability. That's what. If you're good Knights and you've got something in for, go up there like the Knights of the R's and claim respectability. Because what we're desperately seeking as a fan, and I'm being serious here, I want a team that I can relate to. I don't relate to this team. I don't think they don't care. I think that's unfair. But I do think they could definitely step up their curring ability and actually give a shit. That's all I ask. Go there and don't accept someone scoring against you by looking at each other. Go and kick someone. Do something. Show to us that you actually care. That's all I ask. And have a shot before 30 friggin' minutes. Anyway, ours end.
I've done mine.
Have you?
Yeah, just wanted to talk about Nando's.
Do a proper one. That was just silly.
I've got nothing else. What is it? I've got nothing else to say, really. Yeah, I'm sorry.
All right, okay.
Completely deflated after Friday, and I spent all my energy doing the quiz.
That went well.
Yeah, it was a good quiz.
It was an excellent quiz.
It was tricky.
Even Andrews will be turned in his grave.
Yeah, I think I wanted to comment on Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank's comments after the game about booing not helping. And I think that it is actually a true statement that booing doesn't really help the team. And we all know that that's true, but it really kind of sounds a bit hollow coming from the manager. I think it's something we all know, but I think the fans don't like the manager telling them not to boo if they feel that the product isn't very good on the pitch. So I don't know. I think from Jimmy's perspective, I think I agree with him. But from a PR perspective, I think saying stuff like that is just going to piss off our fan base even more.
Yeah, because it's something that we haven't talked about, which was a bit of an altercation in Q Block. I think it was on Friday as well. Fans fighting each other. Please don't do that.
No, not cool.
It's really bad. I've seen it with Jerry Francis.
A couple. It didn't look like there was a lot of people fighting.
Yeah,
but
it gets photographs in the papers. It was. I think it was Q Block. Was it near Q Block? Q and R was round about there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it went off a wee, but yeah, it was. And it was just.
Yeah, it was top of R Block.
Yeah, I don't like seeing that at Rangers. I mean, let's argue, let's debate, but throwing fists at each other ain't going to change anything. And if only the players had that passion, hey, we could maybe be a bit higher in the league. But it's not cool and it's not clever. And please respect each other's opinion. And that's coming from me.
So my R's end is that the Good Ship in Kilburn High Road. It's a West London
We know it well.
QPR pub. Yeah, I went there pre and post Bobby Zamora day, and then I went to the Arctic Monkeys, but that's another story. Is struggling, and they're planning on closing the Good Ship down.
No way.
Yep, true story. And I've included myself in the QPR podcast family.
You're welcome.
You had your live podcast.
We
where
did.
I sang.
I'm proud.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And apparently Neil Warnock went there the first year.
Well, second year.
Well, yeah. So what you can do is you go on the Twitter for the Good Ship, or go on my Twitter, Emily_Capell, and you can follow a link and you write a letter to save the Good Ship. We cannot lose any more London venues, especially not QPR pub.
John McCook's a lovely fella.
And he's the coolest guy, and he's a QPR season ticket holder, I think.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he is, yeah. And we cannot lose another London venue, especially not a QPR one.
And I would say to QPR, in that case, listen to this, and the Good Ship's run by QPR. Why not do a QPR 1976 Q&A at the Good Ship? You could do it, Mr. QPR. Get down there, Mr. Fernandez, Mr. Taylor, and all them lot. Sort it out. Cannot let a QPR venue shut.
No,
Not right.
We can use it as a Stan Bowles benefit night as well. I'm sure John would be well up for that.
Yeah, well, okay.
He let me put QPR scarves up when I played. And I've played it a few times, and I did it each time, and they don't let that usually happen. Don't let us lose the Good Ship, please, 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 please.
That's a good R's end. My R's end is actually a QPR fan had a heart attack at the end of the game at White City, and two QPR fans went to his aid and helped him, and that's the QPR I love. That's the QPR we know we are, not people fighting each other.
He's made a recovery now.
Yes, and he's doing well apparently. Well done, those guys that helped him. And if you make yourself known on Twitter, I'm happy to buy you a pint at any point during the season, because you are top people, I tell you. And I don't say that very often, but that's the QPR we know and love, and we are a special club. I don't care what anyone says. I know everyone says the clubs are special. We have got a special fan base. I'm fed up with everyone slagging our fans off. We've got great fans. We just got to up the it's not a product, just up the football. Just do something to give us something to show you love. We will love you if you love us. This has been the QPR podcast after a 52-year wait for Brentford to win at our ground. Let's make sure that we wait another 52 years before they give them 3 points so easily. And see you guys all at Forest. And thank you so much for coming on. And this has been Open All Hours. Good night.
The QPR podcast is supported by Ubico, the provider of rental cars by the hour, who are giving away over £2,000 in credit to our listeners. For your chance to win up to £250 in free credit towards away game travel, short journeys across town, or car club use, enter now at west12media.co.uk/enter. To find out more, visit ubico.co.uk or download their app now.
UPR, Chris